Greetings, children. Welcome to my channel, Inside Accountancy by Shakun, Accounting Made Easy. Today we'll be talking about Other Books, which is a part of Special Purpose Books 2, chapter number 11 of your book T.S. Garewal. So, in this video, we'll be talking about subsidiary books, purchase book, sales book, and an example based on it. So let's first understand, or let's rather brush up our concepts regarding subsidiary books. So there are various business transactions, numerous business transactions in a business firm, and it becomes really very difficult to record all of these transactions in one book of primary or one book of original entry, that is journal. So in order to make it convenient, we maintain a separate book for each of the transaction. One to record cash transactions, another to record maybe credit purchases of goods, another one to record the credit sales of goods, and so on. So this book is called the Book of Original Entry or the Book of Primary Entry. It is a special form of journal, basically a subdivision of it. Journal entry is not passed for the transactions which are recorded in such other books. They are directly posted from the ledger books, from the other books to the ledger accounts. These books of original or primary entry are called special purpose books, or they are called as special journals or subsidiary books. It is a practical system of accounting where the transactions are classified and they are conveniently recorded into separate books, and convenience is there for recording as well as for ascertaining the profit and loss. So these books of original or primary entry, which are special journal or subsidiary books, are as. So there are various subsidiary books, or we can say the classification of subsidiary books are, we maintain a cash book where we record the receipt of cash as well as the payment of cash, as well as the bank transactions are also recorded. Then we prepare the purchase book, which records the credit purchase of goods. We record or we maintain a sales book where all the credit sales of goods are recorded. We also maintain returns books where the purchase return or the sales return are respectively recorded. So the return of goods are recorded in the returns book. The transactions which do not find a place in any of these other books, they find a place in journal proper. So a transaction which is not recorded in cash book or purchase book or sales book or returns book would be recorded in the journal proper. We have already discussed about the preparation of cash book in the previous chapter. For more details, you can click on the I button. Today in this video, we will be talking specifically about the purchase book as well as the sales book. So let's understand that how or what are the rules of preparing the purchase book and the sales book. Now, purchase book is a subsidiary book in which the credit purchases of goods, that is, the goods in which the firm is dealing, which the firm is manufacturing. So, the credit purchases of those goods is recorded in the purchase book. So, therefore, the cash purchases of goods, if we purchase the goods on cash, that is not recorded in the purchase book. And similarly, the credit purchase of assets are also not recorded in the purchase book. So a purchase book only records the credit purchase of goods, that is the items in which the business is dealing in. The credit purchases of assets are not recorded, and the cash purchases of goods is also not recorded. So we have to put our focus on only those purchases which have been made on credit. So only credit purchases are recorded, cash ones are not recorded, and asset purchases also not recorded. Now when we talk about the sales book, in a sales book, it is that subsidiary book where the credit sale of goods in which the firm is dealing is recorded. So only the credit sales are recorded. In this situation also, in this book also, the credit sale of assets are not recorded because assets are items of value that are owned by the business. They are not the items that are held for sale. So they are not the items in which the business is dealing. Therefore, the credit sale of assets are not recorded. Similarly, in the sales book also the cash sales are not recorded. Okay. So while preparing the purchase book and sales book, you have to remember these three important points, that only the credit purchase or the credit sale is recorded, the credit purchase or sale of assets is not recorded, and the cash purchase or cash sales is also not recorded. Can anyone tell me why the cash purchase and cash sales are not recorded? Because of the reason that since these are, sorry, because of the reason that since these are in cash, so they should be recorded in the cash book, right? So moving on. Now let's talk about the advantages of purchase or sales book. Now, when we prepare the purchase or sales book, as you already know that a lot of convenience is there in recording. So the first utility or the first advantage of preparing the purchase or sales book is that it reduces the volume of work which is required in order to pass journal entry for each of the transaction. So since all the credit purchases are directly recorded in the purchase book, we are not required to pass the journal entries. We are not required to post them into journal proper, right? Since they are directly recorded in the purchase book. Now, the second advantage is that ledger posting becomes very easier. Why? Because all the credit purchases are directly recorded in one book, or all the credit sales are directly recorded in one book, that is the purchase book or sales book. So ledger posting from these particular books can easily be made. The next advantage is periodic totaling. So now if we want to know about the total of the credit purchases made during a particular period, or the total sales that are made during a particular period, in that case it is readily possible, it is easily possible by having a look at the purchase book or sales book, we can find out the total purchases made or the total sales made. The last advantage is that it becomes very easy to check the prices that are charged, and other calculations also becomes very easy, because in the purchase book and sales book, in the details we mention about the quantity, the price charged, everything is like mentioned in the purchase book or sales book. So therefore it becomes easy to check the price at which the goods were purchased or sold. So such kind of checking of our accounts is easily possible. Now let's talk about the format of purchase book, or it is also called as purchase journal. In the format, as you can see, the first column is date, where you write the date of the transaction. Under the particulars column, you need to write the name of the person from whom you are purchasing, that is the name of the seller. We also write the description of the articles in terms of the price at which the units are purchased and the quantity which has been purchased. The invoice number, that's the third column, mentions the number of the bill. Bill or the invoice number is one and the same thing, so that number is mentioned here. Ledger folio is basically the page number of the ledger book. Under the details column, we mention the list price of the product that we are purchasing, the goods that we are purchasing, and list price can be ascertained by multiplying the quantity with the purchase. Okay, so list price can be mentioned by purchase multiplying the quantity and the price. From the list price we calculate the trade discount. Now this trade discount is calculated on the list price only. So if the trade discount is 10%, that 10% will be calculated on the list price. So after you get that, the amount which you get is the cost. Okay. So in this cost, we add any kind of expense that is given in the question in terms of freight or cartage. So those expenses are added, and then we get the total payable value. So all these amounts are mentioned in the details, and obviously they are also mentioned under the particulars head. The cost is mentioned under cost. If there are any expenses, they are mentioned under the freight or cartage, and the total of cost plus freight is mentioned under the total column. So this was the format of purchase book or purchase journal. Now let's have a look at the format, at a random transaction which I've just mentioned here. So in this transaction, as you can see, I have mentioned the name of the seller first, followed by the quantity multiplied by the price. The amount is shown here under details. The total is 24,000, which is the list price. On this list price, the trade discount is calculated, which was 10%. So 10% of 2400 is 24,000 is 2400. So this 21,600 list price minus trade discount is the cost, which should be mentioned under the cost column. And since we do not have any, I have not taken any expense here, so it will also be mentioned, the same amount will be mentioned under the totals column, same amount. Now moving on to the format of a sales book, that is absolutely same. The only difference being that in case of the particulars column, like we used to mention the name of the seller, here we will mention the name of the purchaser, from to whom we are actually selling our goods, the customer or the purchaser who is purchasing the goods from us. Again, the same description of the articles in terms of quantity and price will be mentioned. Invoice number is the bill number. Ledger folio is the page number, as I already explained. Under details also, we will mention all the details in terms of the list price, that's the quantity into price, then the trade discount will be subtracted. After subtracting the trade discount, the amount which we get will be the selling value or the sales value, and any expense should be added, and then we get the invoice price. Okay, so let's take a random transaction here. I've just taken an example here. So the name of the purchaser or the name of the customer is first mentioned, followed by the details in terms of quantity and price. Then the amounts, the quantity into price gives us the total list price. The total list price is 21,200, on which trade discount has been calculated as 2,100. Then the freight has been added here, amount giving us the total value of 19,000. Now under the sale value, we need to mention the sale value, which will be list price minus the trade discount. See, trade sales value is list price minus the trade discount. So 18,900 will be mentioned under the sale value. Freight is mentioned here as 100, so that will be mentioned under the freight column, and the total 19,000 will be mentioned under the total column. So this is the format of sales book. Now let's take a question and try to understand this with the help of by making a purchase book and a sales book. So prepare the purchase and sales book from the following transactions. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the transactions and identify that which transactions will be shown in purchase book and which transactions will be shown in sales book. So the first transaction is bought from Messrs Umadat Mumbai on credit. Bought on credit, that means these are credit purchases, so this transaction should be recorded in the purchase book. Okay, so the details are given, 100 registers and 50 reams paper, and the trade discount is also given. The next transaction is sold to Sri Dayal Bangalore. Again the description is given. So here it has not been mentioned whether it is for cash or not, so we will assume that this is on credit, so therefore we will record it in the sales book. The next transaction on Jan 8 is bought from BILT Delhi for cash. Okay, so this was sales, so we've mentioned in the sales book. This is purchases, and the purchases are for cash, so this transaction is a cash purchase transaction. It will not be recorded in the purchase book. This transaction can be recorded in the cash book, but here while preparing the purchase book we shall not consider this transaction. Next is sold to Gupta Brothers Delhi. Again the details are given, so again these are sales, so therefore we are going to record it in the sales book. Then Jan 18th, sold to Ram Saran Das for cash. Now these sales are made for cash. As you know that in the purchase book and in the sales book, cash transactions are not recorded. Therefore, this transaction also we are not going to record. Then on Jan 25, we have bought from Hari Ram Delhi furniture costing 20,000. Now bought from Hari Ram, that means it is a credit transaction only, but what are we purchasing? We are purchasing furniture, and furniture is a asset for us, and assets are not recorded in the purchase book or sales book. So this Jan 25 transaction will also not be recorded since this is a purchase of an asset. The last transaction is on Jan 31, bought from Rishi Kumar, Bangalore. Again, the details are given, nothing else is mentioned. So obviously these will be the credit purchases. So this will be recorded in the purchase book. So we have analyzed all the transactions and we can see that two transactions are recorded in the purchase book, are to be recorded in the purchase book, and two are to be recorded in the sales book. Now let's have a look at the purchase book. The first transaction is from Umadat and the second one is from Rishi Kumar, Bangalore. So let's have a look at the purchase book. Okay, so this is the format of your purchase book. I've mentioned all the columns. So first purchase was from Umadat. So I've mentioned the date, I've written the name of the seller. Then we mentioned the details. We purchased 1000 registers at the rate of 80 and 50 reams paper at the rate of 250. We multiply the quantity with the amount and we get the details. In the details column, we get the amounts 80,000 and 12,500. Now, if we add both these amounts, we will get the list price, which is 92,500. Now, in the question, trade discount was also given. So, therefore, trade discount has been subtracted from this. And this trade discount, this 25% has been calculated on the list price. Please note that trade discount is always calculated on the list price. So, it is calculated on list price, subtracted from it, and then we get the amount that is 69,375, which is the cost. Now no freight is given here, so 69,375 under cost, no freight, and the total is also 69,375. Now the second purchase transaction was from BILT Delhi, which was for cash, so we are not going to record it here. Then the next one was which was purchased from Hariram Delhi, but that was furniture. Again, purchase of asset is not recorded, so we are not going to show. And the last transaction was from Rishi Kumar, Bangalore, which we had identified while I was explaining to you the question. Again, we write the name of the seller, then we write the details. We find out the total of the details. It gives us what? It gives us the list price. So this 68,000 is our list price. From this list price, we will subtract the trade discount. So trade discount, this 6800 has been calculated on the list price, and then we subtract it. We get the value that is 61,200. So the list price minus trade discount is the cost. It is mentioned under cost. There is no freight or cartage, and then the total also remains the same. So in the question we had identified there were 4 transactions of purchase, but out of those one was a cash purchase and one was the purchase of an asset. Both the transactions have not been shown here. Only those transactions are shown which are credit transactions. Okay. So after you record all the transactions that are mentioned, then on the last day of the month, what we do is we calculate the total. So the total cost is 1,30,575. Then the freight or cartage was not given, so 0, nil, and again the total remains the same. So this is basically the last total which you get. That means this is the balance, because here we don't have freight. So basically this is the balance of the total credit purchases made, which has a DR balance. This purchase has a DR balance. Now moving on to the sales book. Let's have a look at the sales book now. Again, in the sales book we were given 3 transactions. So we record the first transactions first. So we write the name of the customer, the purchaser, then we write the details, multiply the quantity with the price, we get the details to us. Then we find out the total. In the total we subtract the trade discount. This 22,750 is basically the list price here, but the trade discount was not given in the question. So therefore the same amount is written in the here. Sorry, there's a correction here. This is not the cost, this is the sales value. Okay, so the second transaction which was mentioned was sales were made from Gupta Brothers. Again, the details are mentioned. Then total is made. That total is basically the list price. From the list price, we calculate the trade discount at the rate of 5% and subtract from it. We get the value that is 53,437, which is the sale value. Sale value is mentioned under the sale value column. There's no freight and the total also remains the same. Then the last transaction for sales was the sales which was a cash transaction, cash sales were there. So that we are not going to record. So only 2 transactions are recorded. And finally, at the end of the month, we will find out the total of the sales book, which comes out to be 76,187. Now this 76,187 is the value of total sales made during the month of Jan, and sales always has a credit balance. Now, if in this question we were asked to make ledger accounts also, so in that case, how can we do that? Let's have a look at the ledger accounts in case of purchases. So I'm going to show you the purchase book once again. So this was our purchase book. We had 2 accounts here. We had Uma Dutt account and we had Rishi Kumar account. Now, as you all know that purchase always has a DR balance. So anything that is mentioned in the purchase book will have which balance? Obviously, if purchase has a DR balance, then any account mentioned here will have a which balance? A CR balance, right? So if we want to do ledger posting, the posting would be made on the credit side. Okay, since purchase has a DR balance, so any account mentioned here will have a credit balance and posting will be made on the credit side in case of these accounts. So let's have a look at our ledger accounts again. So we have made 2 accounts here, Uma Dutt account and Rishi Kumar account. Also, we have made the purchase account. Why we have made the purchase account? Because that was a purchase journal, that was a purchase book, and we have to transfer the amount from there to the ledger account, to the purchase account. Okay. So as I already explained that purchase has a debit balance. So all the accounts that are mentioned in the purchase book, that is Uma Dutt and Rishi Kumar, both of these will have a credit balance. So on the credit side, we will write by purchases the amount and by purchases the amount. As you can see, I have mentioned both the amounts on the credit side. Why I'm repeating that purchase has a DR balance, any account mentioned will be posted. The posting will be made on the credit side in the name of purchases. Now, talking about the purchase account, as you know, purchase has a DR balance. You all know that. So, on the debit side, we will write to sundries as per purchase book. For the month of Jan 2020, we write the total here, the total of the purchase book here, right? So this is how we do ledger posting from the purchase book. Now let's talk about the ledger posting from the sales book. Now I'll take you back to the sales book now. Let's have a look at our sales book. Now, if you look at the sales book, can you see how many accounts are there? Yes, we have Sri Dayal Bangalore account and we have Gupta Brothers Delhi account. Now, sales has a credit balance. Sales always has a credit balance. That means in the sales account, the total will be mentioned on the credit side. But the accounts that are mentioned in the sales book, they will have a DR balance. So the posting will be made on the debit side in these respective accounts. Now let's go back to our ledger accounts and see how the posting has to be made. So 2 accounts were mentioned in the sales book. They were Sri Dayal account and Gupta Brothers account. Since they were mentioned in the sales book, sales has a CR balance. So these accounts have a DR balance. So on the DR side, we write 2 sales, the amount, and again 2 sales, the amount. So posting has been made on the debit side in these accounts. Now sales has a credit balance. So therefore posting will be made on the credit side in the sales account. The total of the sales book has been transferred to the sales account. So this is how you will make the ledger posting from the purchase book or sales book respectively. Again, I would like to reiterate that in a purchase book and in a sales book, only credit transactions are recorded. Cash transactions are not recorded and the purchase and sale of assets are also not recorded. So on the basis of the concepts that I've taught, you have to attempt question number 1 to 8. They are relating to the purchase book and sales book, and these questions are from T.S. Grewal. In this search video, we have talked about the subsidiary books in special reference to purchase book, sales book, the utility of purchasing purchase book and sales book, and an example in which we learned how to make the purchase or sales book and how to do ledger posting from them. I hope the concepts were clear to you. Thanks a lot for listening to me so patiently. In case you have any doubts, any questions, contact me on my email ID or you can also comment. You can like, share and subscribe my video if I was of any use to you, and so that I can reach to maximum students who might be in need in the times of pandemic. Thank you so much.